Hello, YouTube family. Let's get right into it. Today, we are going to be doing a test to see which one is better, the name brand Tide laundry detergent, specifically their free and gentle version, or this Sun laundry detergent, specifically the triple clean plus oxy version. And so I'm going to be running a test. I'm going to go down to my kitchen and tell you how exactly I'm going to be testing this. We're going to have 3 control that we're not going to use any detergent with. We're just going to put the stains that I have selected downstairs on these 3, and then these 3 will be tested with Tide, and then those 3 will be tested with Sun. And I'll get into specifically how I'm going to test them. Let me go downstairs so y'all can see what we're going to be using. Okay, so the 6 items that I'm going to make splotches of is going to have ketchup, hot sauce, jelly, mustard, oil, and this is gonna have Georgia red clay in it mixed with water, so it's like, mud per se, but it's gonna be Georgia red clay. And I'm gonna put circles around it. I'll show you an example in a quick second of how I prepared it, and then we're going to, let me go to my washing machine real quick to show you how we're going to run it in the washing machine. For this test, the settings we're going to have the washing machine on is on medium. We're going to have the water temperature on cold. We're going to do a speed wash, so that's the fastest wash cycle that's possible. We're not going to add an extra rinse, and it's not going to soak at all. What I'm going to do is pre-treat this. You know what? No. As a matter of fact, this time we're not going to pre-treat the stain. We're just going to put it straight in. I'm going to allow the stains to soak on the clothes for 15 minutes, and I'm actually going to put them outside in the sun so that the stain can like dry on there faster. If I thought about this earlier, I would have done it overnight, but okay, so this is an example. This is a messed up example. My other examples are a lot better than this one. Maybe I should pull it down where I have them, directly across from one another, all 3. The oil one's kind of hard to see once it like, gets into the fabric, but this is jelly. This is the Georgia clay that I mixed with a little bit of water. I could have made the dilution. I wasn't making it an exact science so that it's like a thick paste of clay on there. But I put some of there on there. That's hot sauce. That's mustard, and then that's the ketchup. I'm gonna let that sit for 15 minutes, and then there's only 10 more minutes left. And then I'm gonna throw it in the wash just with water, and we're gonna see how it comes out just from being washed. Of course, I'm not going to dry any of these because I know exactly how to, if the stain doesn't come out, because we don't know, the Tide could take it out. I mean, the water could take out a lot of this. It may not, it probably won't, but I'm going to do my other methods to get it out, this. And then the other experimental ones, we'll just see how the Tide and the Sun does, but this is how it's going to look. Okay, see, we are back now after it has, this is a little damp now, after it has been washed with just water. And as you can see, the Georgia clay lightened a little bit. It's hard for y'all to see the oil in here because it almost looks like it blends in, but it's still there. The mustard really hasn't been touched that much. It lightened a little bit. The ketchup lightened the most. The hot sauce is still there, and the jelly is still there. And this, it goes across the board with all of them. It's very similar. This one, specifically, more of the clay was out. But it's pretty similar across the board. The mustard is really the most prominent one because we know mustard stains are really hard to get out. And so the jelly's still in here. This one, it's hard to see it. The clay is still lightly there. The variations in clay could due to me, like some of these I put 1 spoonful on, another one I put 2 spoonfuls on. I never did more than 2 small spoonfuls. These are teaspoons, 2 teaspoons on here. I should have been more uniform across the board, but there's still a margin of error that I'll go over as to why some of the results could be a little bit more skewed from one thing or another. But now let us try the Sun detergent. Okay, I apologize if this is a little loud, but I measured out, it's going to be 2 tablespoons of laundry detergent. This is the Sun laundry detergent portion of the experiment. And I used a measuring spoon just to make sure it's very exact. I want both of them to have 2 tablespoons because that's what they recommend for a medium load, or really for most loads on average, to be 2 tablespoons at most of laundry detergent. So we're going to test that part out and see how this turns out. Okay, after that wash, the results are in. For all 3 shirts, except for this one, there's still a little bit left of the Georgia clay, and I'm kind of shocked that the Georgia clay is getting out by using the Sun detergent for the most part. The oil, the oil test I should have did a little different because it's kind of hard to see, and I probably should open this blind too. It's kind of hard to see if it actually took it out or if it's just not visible. But the main stains, it got it out a little bit on here, but for this one, it's really prominently there, and that one too. The all of them, the ketchup is still there. The hot sauce is still a little bit here, still a little bit there, still a little bit there, and then the jelly is still here for these. So now we're gonna do the Tide and see if it is able to get any of these stains out. And again, we're about to do the Tide test. This is 2 tablespoons of laundry detergent, the Tide Free and Gentle. Settings low, cold water, speed wash, no extra rinse, and no auto soak. So let me press this one. I have to, turn it out, but it's back on quick wash. Okay, so I took these from the laundry room, and this one, and this one is the Tide. As we can see, all of these when the mustard stain is just the hardest one for them to come out. So it, didn't do the best job. When it came to there's still a light tint for the Georgia clay stain on this one. It's almost invisible. For y'all may not be able to see it, but it's just about gone. And on this one, it's the same thing. It's right here. It's very, very low. The grape stain, grape jelly is almost gone on this one. It's still a little bit left here. Still a little bit left here. The hot sauce is basically gone on this one. On this one, it's still there. On this one, it's still there. And this is the ketchup. I don't know if y'all can see the ketchup stain on here. You should be able to see it a little bit. You can see it more prominently in that one and definitely in that one. And so I think out of these three, I'm trying to see which one did it the best. Probably this one, even though it did the worst on the mustard. But out of all of the stains, well, that's hard to say because it did the best on here with the grape jelly. I was trying to pick one. We're gonna pick this one. We're just gonna pick one, and then I'm gonna pair them all side by side so you can see which one. Let's talk about it. Okay, so I just finished pre-treating each one. I put a pretty fair amount, on the whole stain. I'm gonna let that sit for 15 minutes. I want to make a note of for this Sun detergent. When I poured it on the stain, it turned it from yellow. This is the mustard stain area to this purple color, which is interesting to me, and I wonder why. Actually, so that was kind of weird. Actually, when I saw, I really wish I would have recorded it, so y'all have been able to see it turn just immediately to purple. And then yeah, this is the Tide area. I put that on there. And so we're gonna let that sit for 15 minutes, and I'll be back when I throw it in the wash. And also, when I throw them in the wash, I'm just gonna throw the shirts in by themselves. I'm not gonna add any of the detergents to the water. I'm just gonna throw them in themselves and see what it turns out to look like. Okay, we can make this quick because some of my family just right. Tide one, okay, because this still has some of the jelly stain left. This is some of the hot sauce, and there's still a little bit of the ketchup left. This has a little bit of the hot sauce, a little bit of the ketchup left, some of this. It's funny how the dish detergent almost did better than the Sun, which is a little concerning. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And then they all still need a little help with the mustard. But Ty got every other stain out except for the mustard. And this mustard stain is the lightest. Really, this did worse than the dish detergent as a pre-treater. They all pre-treated for 15 minutes. So we're going to talk about these results in a little bit later to see as to why this and what's the workaround if you wanted to get Sun so that you could still use it. Because it still works. I was able to get some of it out. And what are some things you could do to maximize Sun if you wanted to use that? Tide won. We can't argue the fact, but the pre-treating Tide did win. Okay, so I'm gonna be really fast. I hope the noise in the background isn't annoying because people keep coming in and out of this room. I just wanted to end this video. This is another day, but what I wanted to talk about was why I believed the Tide did better than the Sun laundry detergent when it came to pre-treating. When it came to them just taking the 2 ounces of or 2 tablespoons, which is whatever, 2 tablespoons of laundry detergent, and putting it just in the wash and doing the quick wash. I believe that, they had tied results. It's just for 3 stains, one did better, and for 3 stains, the other did better. But I think when it comes to pre-treating it, which all I did was took, as y'all saw in the video, was I poured a little bit of the detergent on each individual stain, let it sit for 15 minutes, and then threw it in the wash. Is that Tide has compounds in it that are targeted. They have more enzymes in it, which is compounds that target the different stains and break it apart so that it's more easily washed away. So the Sun does not have that. Even though it has the oxy in it, you really don't know what ratio of oxy is in it, and it could be very low so that it's not really that effective, or the pre-treat time would have to be much longer than 15 minutes. But this is kind of more of a sped up process, and I just wanted to say there are a few reasons as to why, every experiment has the user error. And so I would say one factor that I could determine is not all the white t-shirts were the same brand. So the actual type of cotton and whatever material that the fabric was made of may have been more prone to holding a stain than others. Another reason would be when it came to contact time, technically the Tide had the stains on the fabric the longest before it was washed, because the water, the ones that was the control that was just washed was only washed with water. They were saturated with the stain for 15 minutes and thrown directly in the wash. Now, for the quick wash, the wash time is approximately 20 minutes on my specific washer. So it took 20 minutes for that process to go through. So that would have meant that it would have been 35 minutes before the Sun went in, and then that's a whole nother 20 minutes. So it'd have been about an hour before the Tide actually went in, so they retained the stain for longer. So that could have been a margin of error as to why some of the results were the way that they were. But I just wanted to say, overall, the Tide for that bottle was $21. I'm gonna check what the prices are now, and I'll make sure I put that in here for you. But when buying it, the Tide bottle was $21, but the Sun bottle was $6.87, I believe. Once again, I'll put up the actual numbers. I'm trying to think of it off of my head, but you could buy like 3 bottles of the Sun before you have to buy one of the Tide. But there's no need to waste money if it doesn't work. So if you're buying the detergent but it's not getting anything out, you're wasting it. So this is what I believe. I don't believe it's useless, but I don't think it's the best pre-treater. And I think this is one of the rare cases where I would recommend that if you're going to use Sun detergent, that you use more than the 2 tablespoons. Maybe use 3 tablespoons. Maybe if you're feeling adventurous, 4. But you put a little bit more detergent, because I think it actually does need a little bit more and more contact time. When you look at the which some of y'all, you may not have time to do all of this, but if most washers at this time, they have settings, or you could soak the garment beforehand. Like I always say, pre-treat. I think if you pre-treat the stain appropriately and then put them in the washer, then you'll be fine. But I believe that for the best results, I would say if you're going to buy the Sun, because I do have the Sun and I like the Sun, and I've noticed that, first of all, most people, you're not going to have stains that are that big to that degree on your clothes. Now, but if you do, the best thing that you can do is try to get the stain out as soon as possible, but that's not always, something that somebody can do at that point in time. So what I would say is, whenever you get that stain on, by that night, make sure you pre-treat it, whatever pre-treating stain. And if you wanted to know how I got the stains out, I'm not going to front. It took some work to get those stains completely out. I had to soak it in. I did it 1 thing of OxyClean. I soaked it in there for an hour and then had it washed through. And then it still didn't get it all the way out. So I looked at OxyClean's website, and they said that sometimes it will require multiple soaks. Just make sure you don't dry it first. And so I was like, okay, and so then I let it soak for another hour. But I used borax instead, so half a cup of borax, and let it soak in the washer for an hour. Still didn't come all the way out. And then I did something that you should not do, so don't do this part. You're not supposed to mix bleach with any other household chemicals, but I put Clorox, I put bleach in the bleach dispenser, and I put OxyClean in the dispenser and let it soak for 2 hours. After that, it got it all the way out. So yeah, it took time, and it's crazy to me because I was like, I just sat there. Now, when I put these in there, I didn't add any detergent with it. I just let the oxy be by itself with the bleach and the oxy together. So my conclusion, my last end result, because this is going to be longer than, I'm trying to shorten these videos, but it's really hard for me to shorten these videos because, I like to talk. So I will say this. If you're going to get the Sun, I would always recommend, if you have a stain, pre-treat the stain. I'm not against not getting the sun because the sun is so much cheaper. And oh, the one part I really want to talk about, which is going to be a very small section, is Procter and Gamble, and most of y'all will know, have made their announcement that their products are going to be going up by 8%. So you take whatever you're currently paying for your detergent for Tide, Gain, and is it Bounce? I think it's Bounce dryer sheets is going up by 8%. So you have to think about that and compare your options and see if there's something else that you can use. And so that's why I wanted to do this test with sun. And for me, I believe that I don't think it's a bad choice. I just think when it comes to stains, if you have a pre-treating stick, oh, that's the other part that I said. I think what really got the stains out is I had one of the pre-treating sticks, and I put that on the stain and I let it sit overnight, because that's what I was gonna say. It got all the stains out except for on 2 t-shirts. 2 t-shirts still had some of the hot sauce stain and some of the ketchup stain. And so I put that stick on there, let it sit overnight, and in the morning it was all, when I washed it, just washed it normally, it was gone. So in my opinion, I think that what I really should have just did was put that pre-treat stick on all of them, let them sit overnight, and then in the morning, wash it. And then it probably would have came out, because I don't care what stain this has been, them pre-treating sticks have been, hands down, the best stain remover in my opinion. And it really doesn't matter what brand of pre-treating stick it is. It's just something about having the physical sticks and not just the sprays, the sticks. Something about them have always worked for me. So not that this is, did this thing stop? Hold up. Did it stop? No, it's still going. Okay, I'm sorry. This watch acts stupid sometimes. Is it still going? Yes. Okay. So all I wanted to say was, in conclusion, I will recommend this Project Sun, but I would always recommend adding. I would only recommend it if your clothes aren't super dirty. I'll put it that way. I can never not recommend Tide because Tide works, and it shocked me how my results weren't what I thought it was going to be. I was hoping because Sun had the Oxy in it that it was going to be able to remove the stains like that, but it kind of didn't perform the way I wished it would have performed. But that all being said, I thank y'all so much for tuning in, for watching this video. Let me know if you want me to do any other tests of laundry detergents to see how they work as pre-treaters, how they work as stain removers, how they work just in general, just to make sure your clothes comes out well. Because what good is it coming out smelling clean if it doesn't actually remove stains? So if I had to give the Sun a final score, I would probably give it a C, because I wouldn't get it a D or an F because I don't think it failed, because it was able to take out 3 out of 6 of the stains when you pre-treated it, but it alone needed help. So yeah, my solution to that is, if you're gonna buy Sun, make sure you have an OxiClean, or make sure you pre-treat your stain appropriately, and then everything probably should be fine. I can't say if you'll have any different results from the different Sun products. From what I've heard and read and seen, the Sun that I had did the best job of actually cleaning your clothes. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will catch y'all in the next video.